Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Under the Ring presents House of the Podcast. It is I, Sir Rock the First of the Land Duce. Joining me on this quest today. All right, let me stop talking like that. What's going on, folks? It's me, it's your boy. Like I said, the new name for this podcast is Sir Rock the First of the Land Duce. You know what we're gonna do every Wednesday? We're gonna give you a quick rewind of that magical show, House of the Dragons. Joining me, he is actually the reigning UTR predictions champion. So he's going to bring that title of king over here. I present the King Mongo of the land of Fatonia. With the Booker T wave.
Hello. Yes, it is I, King Mongo. And boys, we had a hell of a show Saturday or Sunday, didn't we? Saturday, Jesus.
Sunday, yeah. It was a hell of a
Yeah.
goddamn show. It was a lot went on that show.
Not a lot of action, but a lot of
Yeah, a lot of backstory and a lot of sneakiness.
And if you watch Game of Thrones, you know that's when it gets good.
Exactly. Joining us also from the land of Ohio, Lord Mike Jones, ruler of House Jones.
What's good, everybody? This is Lord Mike, who? Mike Jones, ruler of House Jones, king of all the 7 seas of Cincinnati.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cincinnati ain't got a damn seat of first.
Exactly. We got a fucking shitty ass river. That's all the fuck we
got. All right, boys, let's just jump into it right away. This episode, pretty much, I call this the beginning of the coming of age of Rhaenyra. She pretty much let it be known that she is rocking as far as I'm about to be the next on this throne. Let me show y'all what some muscle is about. The reason I say that is because it starts off with the king asking her to pick a knight that's actually going to protect her and protect him. Pretty much picking what, if you watch Game of Thrones, pretty much picking Jaime Lannister's character is pretty much what she was doing. And of course, you know, they brought out all of the knights that pretty much were at that tournament. And of course, Sir Hightower and Corlys had their own particular picks in which they would want. But Rhaenyra threw a loop when she picked the Dornish man, because why? The Dornish man was the only one with actual combat skills. And her response is, shouldn't someone with combat skills be protecting our king? Not just tournament skills. I mean, she has a great fucking point.
And you know what?
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's common sense. It's common sense. If you want to protect the highest seat of the realm, wouldn't you want to pick somebody who's actually had combat experience, right?
Right. Like, I don't want somebody that's just been at the shooting range. I want somebody that's actually put some hot ones in somebody's ass so I know they can protect me.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jeremy said in the comments, it's been 6 months since the first episode, which is a pretty decent time jump.
Yeah.
For all this. I like her picking him, and I saw a lot of comments online when the show was happening, like, oh, just picking him because he's hot. Nah, she made a pretty good decision.
Right. She had
a good decision.
She had some like good motives behind the reason for picking him. She was like, is there anyone who's been in any combat?
Any real combat. Steps up to the plate.
And your man, Sir Christian Cole, was like, Yeah, I killed a couple motherfuckers before. Yeah, I did it. She was like, "Right."
He details the conflicts that he was in, how long he did it, and yeah, all right, good pick. Though I'll say this, I have a sneaking suspicion. Uh,
Oh, they gonna end up fucking when she get older for sure.
no, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna fuck something up.
Here's the thing.
I think he might fuck something up.
No, here's the thing. I think he might wind up being. You know who his character reminds me of? His character reminds me of the guy that fell hopelessly in love with Daenerys before Jon Snow.
Oh, the guy that got dragon rot. Jorah.
Right.
Oh yeah, Jorah Mormont.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds you of Jorah. Why's your name?
No, not Jorah. Remember Daenerys after Drago, after her husband died, she had like a little Dornish dude that she was fucking.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
And remember he was head over heels in love with her.
Mm.
And so I got a feeling wasn't he Dornish also, just like Sir Christian Cole? Wasn't he Dornish also, if I'm not mistaken?
It might have been. If so, that's a good parallel to draw. I like that.
Right, them Targaryens love them Targaryen women love them Dornish dicks. That's what it looks like. But one of the major things that came out this show this week was, excuse me, you saw the beginning of a side plot against the king. You saw the beginning of a side plot against the king between Corlys and Daemon. Now, Corlys, as we know since the first episode, has been talking about the king, the crab, who has been taking over a whole free colony, and he pretty much wants to put them down since they took 2 of his ships. He wants to put that little pirate raid down, like call it a day. Daemon was down for it, but of course, the king always wants to remain peaceful. Lets him know, I know that you're a major part of this. Don't worry, we're gonna handle it. It's not good enough for Corlys. Corlys wants their heads on spikes right now. To kind of put a little battery in the back of the king to kind of sweeten the deal so that way he can go to war. Corlys does something that is unfucking mentionable. But we have to mention it. During this whole process in time, let's please not forget that the king is without a wife. A king needs a wife.
Again.
6 months. Right.
6 months.
6 months now. The king needs a wife. Corlys offers up his 11-year-old daughter. So far, House of Dragon, the first 2 episodes have reminded. It just keeps bringing back that scene where none of us wanted Arya to get naked.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes is just
all of us incredibly uncomfortable.
the first two episodes are reminding me of that scene where we're all going, no, please, don't you fucking dare, don't you. And so far, House of Dragons,
there's no such thing as morality. If you know anything about House of Dragons and Game of Thrones, morality is non-existent.
But then again, during those feudal times, morality didn't exist at all. Period. Because
Exactly.
it's not like they're veering too far off of what happened during those times either. Like
it's all about bloodline, and it's all about the realm. And whatever you got to do to make sure that those things are intact, you do it. Even if it's offering your 12-year-old daughter to the king.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw something similar last week with Otto Hightower.
Mm-hmm.
and his daughter, who is Rhaenyra's friend,
Bestie.
and they're yeah, bestie. Um, and that was kind of gross, but like they didn't really show if anything happened between those two. And I think she's what 14, right?
Yeah, she's of age to bear children.
But incredibly young still.
That's the
And
other part
Otto,
that got me. Hold on one second, Mongo, because you mentioned the actual age. That's what actually got me. When Viserys was talking to Corlys's daughter, she told him, "My mother said I wouldn't have to bed you until I'm 14." Excuse the fuck out of me. That's a couple of years off. Number one. Number two, Viserys is about 60, and he's still considered the young king. And for no, as I'll put it to you this way, as a dad with nothing but daughters, this particular episode was not that easy.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. You got to think about also think about what Game of Thrones. Think about what Cersei was telling Sansa. She was telling her similar things. You know, in a year's time or whatever, you're going to be able to give Joffrey a son.
You know what? Because Sansa looked and acted so much mature and older, I forget. I forgot that. You are absolutely right. When she was about to be married to Joffrey, she was 13.
Mm-hmm.
13 going on 14. Yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
absolutely right.
but
But
Joffrey
also,
was also
I'm about to say
young.
Joffrey was also
Yeah,
like 7. So it didn't seem so bad. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's true. It's still when you just think of like a 13, 14-year old girl, just as soon as she bleeds, right? Oh, you're ready to make a child. That just seems just so fucking just
That
ridiculous to think of.
it really is. But then let's think about it. Even here in the United States, back in the day, think about it. A lot of our great grandparents and stuff like that, they was married at like grandpa was about 19, 20, and grandma was like 14 when they got married and shit like that. Back in the day, even here in the United States.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
And it's worse the farther you look back.
yeah,
It's, like it's that was a
yeah.
prevalent thing. And it's I think we all kind of were like, oh, thank God we didn't see him and Otto's daughter together. And then this week they just hit us with the 11, 12-year old. It's like, come
Like,
on.
like,
But
please,
then,
please.
like, the thing is, like, you see Viserys' face, and he's like, what? Like, he was shocked. And then the next scene is him walking in the garden
With his
with the
child.
daughter,
With his child.
and it's
Wow,
just kind of
fast
like,
mover. Please have a seat right there.
this is like a real
Right.
moment where it's,
It really was. It was like, oh God. No.
not
Oh God. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
he was like incredibly uncomfortable. You can see he
Yeah.
was like, huh, yes, that's interesting. And then like the daughter just flat out says, "Yeah, mom said we can't have sex till 2 years from now, but we're good."
And you can
Listen,
Oh,
tell.
when
And
she
you
said
can
that,
tell.
when she said that, I immediately went. That's what I immediately did.
And you could tell Corliss had her memorize all of her talking points.
Hmm.
Because even
oh,
Viserys even
trained,
asked her, he even asked her,
trained.
like, did your father tell you to say this stuff? And she kind of
Right.
looked, yeah.
And the thing about it is, just for those of you, for those who don't know, the main reason Corliss wanted to do this is there's really two motives. One, he gets he gets that whole with the ship, he gets that back, the revenge on that. Two, he combines his house with the royal house. His house is considered the second strongest house of Westeros.
hmm Yep. The two Valerian houses.
Hmm. The two Valerian houses. together. That's is a strong house. But sheesh, bro, your
And
daughter's
not to
still playing
mention,
with Barbies.
they already got one foot in the door because Rhaenys is half Targaryen already.
Right. Rhaenys is what you could remember. She's the
Queen that
queen
never
that never
was.
It
was.
never was.
So you're absolutely right. So the next time the king, his family does have a claim. But here's the thing: if Viserys would have taken Corlys up on that offer, the plan and the goal was for there to be a boy child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, during this time where everybody's sitting there worried about who Viserys is gonna marry, with him trying to getting being hooked up with a 12-year-old, this and that. My boy Daemon comes in and says, "All right, let me get this dragon egg right on here and take this on back since I'm gonna get married." It wasn't just that he took a dragon egg; he took Baelin's dragon egg.
Yet another, basically another shot
Mm-hmm.
Right.
at Balin, along with
Exactly.
the king for a day or heir for a day.
For a day. Right.
Day for a day.
Took the egg, then sent the scroll out to Viserys like, "Yo, you the king. Come to my wedding. I'm marrying my chick, and she's with child." Now the king was ready to go over there and just start beating the shit out of him. Right? The king was ready to go over there and just start beating the shit. I'm like, "Yo, my little brother did this. What? Otto Hightower convinces him, you're a king. You can't convince yourself to go down to that level. Let me handle it." Hightower and his crew get to Damon's crib. He's telling them all of this, like, yeah, she's with child. The funniest part about it was the whore that was with him. She was looking at him like, "Nigga, we getting married? I'm pregnant. Oh, there's something you want to tell me that I don't fucking
Me?
Excuse me?
know?" Me. She's looking at him like,
Looking behind her like there's somebody else back behind me. I don't know about.
right. She's looking at Damon like, ho, the whole life is all I know. That's all she wants.
She is for the streets.
100%. Thank you for joining us, Peter. And this is a great point. He said he just wanted some attention from his brother. I don't think he wanted to fight at all. I think for now he loves his family, but something is going to change. Oh, listen, even in the first episode, it shows that Damon actually cares for his family. When the queen died, he was technically the only one that was comforting Rhaenyra. Speaking words to her and things of that nature. Because remember, her father didn't speak to her. Her father didn't speak to her at all until it was time to tell her that she's going to be the heir. You know what I mean? When Damon missed the council meeting and she found him sitting on the Iron Throne, he had a gift for her. He felt his brother's sorrow when his wife died. So Damon definitely is a family man.
Mm-hmm.
We even
Damon
saw
def-
it here when he didn't, he could have killed Rhaenyra right there.
Right. So basically, him and Otto going back and forth in the argument, about to take it to blood. Who comes in on her little dragon? Rhaenyra. Basically, she steps up to Damon and says, "All right, stop the bullshit. Give me my brother's egg back. If you really want to be the king, be the heir, kill me. Come on, kill me."
Nope. And
Damon tosses her the egg, and end the story.
Rhaenyra takes it and puts it in the whatever pot that is they have for the egg, and it's back. Yeah, man. It feels like he's not the big evil, like obvious villain that we got in a lot in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I want to compare him to my man Tyrion. I want to compare him to Tyrion.
To
I
Tyrion.
got I got a feeling he's going to end up being like that. I have a strange feeling because remember the first couple of times that we met the little midget man, he was a dick to Jon Snow, a dick to everybody. We didn't know he was going to wind up being the dopest person out the whole cast in Game of Thrones. The only one person who really had a true passion for what's best for what's going on. I got a feeling he's going to end up like that.
Hmm. And you want to know what's something that I found very interesting? And you talk in after Rhaenyra returns and she gets the dragons and she gets the egg back, and they have of course, they always have an emergency council meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that Viserys is saying is, my brother's trying to provoke me. If anything, the one who's been getting provoked these past 2 episodes has been Daemon. Daemon is the one, his actions are caused by somebody else's actions. Because think about in episode 1. What did he tell Viserys? Why you could have named me your hand? Because I'm your brother. I want to protect you, and you've never given me that shot. You've listened to all the opinions about me by your leeches, your small council, and yet they're putting all these places and pieces together behind your back. And yet here I am trying to do what's best to protect our bloodline, to protect you. And you've never given me a chance. But it's not being seen that way. Damon's the one that's being provoked here.
It's funny because, like I said, you see Corlys ends up going to Daemon to try to get a little side deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how it appears that technically it's his own. Even if Daemon is a villain, right? Even if Daemon is a villain, Corlys known now is definitely a villain.
Oh yeah.
So far, right now, the two biggest villains to the Targaryen throne are related. His brother and his cousin-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an outside person. It's from literally your own blood. It's trying to get at you right now, which is crazy.
And
Mhm.
Corlys goes to Daemon to I guess essentially swap sides, like you're saying, because King Viserys doesn't choose his daughter.
Pretty much.
He instead goes with Otto Hightower's kid,
Uh,
Allison, I think,
Allison. Yep.
who is 14. That's still not great.
14, spending nothing but time with his daughter.
Yeah, her
It's
daughter's best friend. I really thought it was going to be her daughter's lover because they really kind of laid that on in the first episode. It kind of felt like
yeah,
they were like,
yeah. It kind of felt like they
closer and
kind of felt
closer.
like right, kind of felt like they were going on the on the happy train. But
They're laying in each other's laps, holding hands. But then we see this moment happen, and it's something that nobody was really seeing coming. I don't even think. Let's say, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
point. That's
pretty
a good
much.
point.
That's
He pretty much told Corlys, "Shut the fuck up. Can't nobody
Yep.
talk shit about my brother but me."
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even at this point where he's like, "We're enemies."
Like
There's
we're
a
enemies,
respect that he
but you
has.
still better respect him because that's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, when Viserys made that announcement, it looked like even Alicent was shocked by it.
Yes,
She didn't. It looked like she didn't know what she was going to do.
but before
And
he
then
made that
the first
announcement,
place she looks is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say before he made that announcement, something major happened between Viserys and Rhaenyra. They sat down and they talked.
Mm-hmm.
Something that she said hasn't happened since her mother's death. Really, they sat down and they talked, and she felt a sense of warmness with her father because he actually let her know that he misses her mother and how he felt about her. And that opens her up really big to him because it makes her happy to know she's not the only one mourning. She's not the only one missing her mom. Makes her happy to know that my dad loved my mom. So she's feeling this overwhelming pride and happiness about her father, you know, and next thing you know, he turns around and goes, "I love you, daughter, but I'm gonna marry your bestie." What? What? So that had to pretty much. That's definitely going to cause a major wall to go up between them in the upcoming episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to cause a major war because that wall was torn down and put back up all within an hour's time span.
And I want to go back a little bit in regards to Damon and Corliss. Something that was revealed that was very interesting. Both of them are brothers of kings. So both of them were always in a position where they had to prove themselves. Because think about it, when you're the brother of a king, you kind of get overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And like Corliss said, he built his house on his own back. Like he's the reason why his house is one of the two strongest houses of the realm. So when you combine the fact that Daemon is a brother who's scorned by his own brother, and Corliss had to deal with being a brother of a king himself, hence him being overlooked and him always having this chip on his shoulder, it makes that alliance even more powerful now.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention who they mention as the episode ends, the crab feeder.
Yeah,
So
Westeros definitely has crabs, along
yeah,
with along with syphilis, kind of real.
That is, by the way, I didn't realize when the show started what that was. They just like showed crabs on top of somebody on the beach. I didn't realize what was happening there. What a
Yeah,
way to die!
yeah,
What
the
a
yeah,
way
crabs
to
eating
go!
you alive, and you saw how they were
yep,
picking at the pus of the wound. Ugh.
yep,
Oh,
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Christopher,
yeah.
dude, that is horrific.
Yeah, yeah, because you're alive and you can hear dude screaming. But you made a good point. You made a good reference, Margot, calling Corliss Littlefinger. He's definitely Littlefinger,
Mm-hmm.
and Otto Hightower is Tywin Lannister all the
Yeah,
way.
I see that.
Otto was an evil motherfucker. He's
Oh
evil.
yeah,
Otto's making a lot of moves to make his big move.
yeah.
We just don't know
Mm-hmm.
what that's going to be yet. But
Mm-hmm.
he tried to push his son for that spot that Rhaenyra gave to the Dorne.
Hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
pushes his daughter into being the new wife of the king. There's a lot of things he's setting up. I
Hmm.
wonder who's leading the watch right now. Did they ever say once Daemon was sent off?
No,
Um, they haven't mentioned it yet.
I wonder if
yeah,
that's going to go to. I wonder if that's going to go to his son.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
that could definitely happen.
yeah.
But I mean, the more you look at it, and the more you see where these guys go, what decisions they make, the more you realize maybe Damon was trying to protect the king here. I mean, how quick did Corliss turn?
Hmm.
It took all of 6 months, and like Damon said in the first episode, I'm here to save you from yourself. Talking to Viserys, and look what's happened 6 months later.
6 months, it looks like all hell's burnt. Like he's making the wrong decision after wrong decision after
Here's
wrong
something
decision.
else I want to bring up. Something is going on with Viserys' health.
Oh yeah, that's more than just a little wound from the chair. That's something different.
Yeah,
The wound on his back, he says, is from the chair. And then remember, he cut himself when he went to sit down on the throne, and that damn pinky is just about gone. They had to put maggots on his pinky to hope that it would eat away the rotten flesh.
Yeah.
It's like he's falling apart. Like his body's on borrowed time.
It's like his body look. By the end of the season, Viserys is gonna look like the devil from Little Nicky, just the mouth left. Remember how his ear was falling off?
I mean, yeah, it ain't looking good for him. It ain't good for the old man.
It's really not.
I think they mentioned it not being dragon rot because they said there was something similar they had seen, and that wasn't what they believed it was. So they were sending it off to be looked at. But maybe that is what it is. Maybe back then they didn't know how to treat that or what it even was. I mean, it is 170 plus years.
Here's something I find very very interesting. The Meister that's there, is he the Grand Meister? Because I'm not sure I've heard them say that yet.
Yeah, he's the Grand Maester. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I've heard them say. I'm not sure I've heard them say the Grand one, because and I'm like, isn't he supposed to be like next to the king at all fucking times? Like, because he's referring to the younger Maesters a lot for the shit that's going on with the king right now. If you noticed, he's asking the younger one, "Well, what do you think it is?" Like, if you're supposed to be the head doctor here,
Yeah.
I do feel he will play a part in Viserys' death. I do feel that at some point in time, Viserys is going to be poisoned, and he's going to play a part in it. Either he's going to be the one to provide the poison or something.
There is a conspiracy, Game of Thrones wise, specifically in like the Ice and Fire books, that there's actually like a Grand Maester plot where they've secretly been pulling strings throughout Westeros for years and years.
They have,
with the help of like a certain house or two, right? Could be Otto. Could be Otto. That you know.
Here's the thing.
And if that's the case,
Why wouldn't it be a plan by them? There's one of them at every house.
Mm-hmm.
At every house you have one. At Winterfell you have one that helped when people were sick. The Night's Watch you have something there. You have somebody on the inside for every house. Why wouldn't there be a grand plot behind that?
It makes sense.
Yeah, not to mention
that's a lot of power for one to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they share information with each other about the others.
Oh yeah.
And Viserys is vulnerable. Not only physically, but he's shown that he's a weak king.
This whole episode was him trying to avoid conflict, because in any sense he doesn't really want to fight of any kind, and because of that, we're getting to this point. No one would suspect him.
Dude, perfect example.
No one would suspect him at all.
Perfect example in Game of Thrones. The episode where we found out that the Grand Meister was getting some booty.
Yeah.
From the hole. And then when she left, your man stood up, did the stretch, and hit us with the yeah, I'm good.
Sneaky motherfuckers.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. And if that's the case, and Hightower's pulling the strings, maybe you're right. Maybe they're actually poisoning him right now.
That could be
a slow burn. You know,
Right. It has to be. Something is going on with that, man. Something is going on with that because these guys, they living in a time where people are getting arms and limbs cut off in battles and still living. And you mean to tell me you can't figure out why the king's finger looked like that?
Mm-hmm.
Something ain't right.
And think about it, and to that point, think about how urgent the Grand Maester was on doing the C-section to Queen Emma.
that they did push that pretty. Like the second there was a problem with that birth,
They pushed the shit out of it.
this is the only option. This is the only option you have.
And think about how.
But here's the thing.
And because of that, not only does she die, but so does the baby.
Here's the
Now,
thing.
it could have that could have happened regardless, but it does seem like
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like I said, as a father of all girls, once that baby goes breech, that honestly is the only option.
no. What I'm saying is,
it truthfully is.
If it was truly a breach, okay. What if it wasn't?
First of all, you'll be able to tell if it's a breach or not, because if it's a normal birth going on, when it's time to dilate and shit like that, like
I'm saying, like, what if
you'll know.
it's a lie?
Just to keep
I'm saying, what if it's a lie? What if
it's
like
just to keep the
what if they
conspiracy
played
going.
it up as worse than it was?
Yeah, because I still think you're absolutely right, Kenny. But just to keep the conspiracy going, what if the Grand Master was like, let's go ahead and
this time for the move.
Yeah,
where would the Grand Maester rank as far as if something were to happen, he would get the power of the king?
I don't
Does
know.
anyone know
I'm
that?
not even saying. I don't think they would. I don't know if they would. But I'm not even saying that. I'm saying they make those kind of moves and they put who they want as king.
Oh, the Grand Maester is it's the Illuminati, baby. It's the Illuminati.
It's all
you know.
And it's funny how
the bottom,
the two closest people, the two closest people to Viserys is the two main could be culprits in his demise. Otto Hightower being his hand, and the Grand Maester, who's his doctor.
You know what? We talking a lot of shit about my man Hightower. What if Hightower turned out to be like a Ned Stark?
Ain't no fucking way.
Fuck Otto.
No way.
Otto's
ass is pure evil.
He is a piece of shit. Fuck him.
You could tell from the moment we saw him, those little beady eyes. Fuck Otto Hightower.
But did he do anything different than what Ned Stark did? Because remember, Stark pretty much gave Sansa to Joffrey.
After what? After Joffrey's wife died that day? Giving your daughter to a king or a prince or whatever to do that's normal then. But to do it or like not waste a second. Hey, king's a little lonely tonight because dead wife. Get your ass in there.
And to your earlier point, it made sense because Joffrey and Sansa were practically the same age too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate now. I don't like. I don't fuck with Hightower.
I don't like Otto.
For the show, somebody got to say something on his behalf, man.
I don't like Hightower. I don't like Cole. I don't like his ass. For something about him, I don't like. I don't know what it is, but I feel like he's gonna end up betraying somebody. But I'm still on Team Daemon at the end of this.
Yeah. Listen,
on Team Daemon.
Mongo, ladies and gentlemen, Mongo hates all pretty boys. So that's why he hates Cole.
That's not true.
If it's a pretty boy, Mongo's like, that motherfucker's evil. He can't stand pretty boys.
In the world of fantasy, any fantasy story you do, the prettier they are, the more of a bastard they end up being. That's how it works every time. I'm sorry that there's stereotypes that writers just do. I can't control that. Shit, this is originally a wrestling podcast. How many pretty wrestlers are nice?
All right. Yeah. Good point. Good
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
But fuck
They're
you,
all
Mongo.
dicks. They're all
See,
dicks.
Mongo hates pretty boys. That's gonna be the next banner that you're gonna see on the bottom of it.
Fuck you.
But I mean, Hightower is the ass. There's, you know, uh, giving your daughter that night. Yeah, giving your daughter that night. He's like, the king has been lonely.
Nah, dude. No. That's fucked up on both counts. Because that is solely something he did to make a move. Because that is not good for the king. And it certainly is not good for his kid. That
Here's
is
the
only
thing.
done
Hold
to make
on.
a move.
Hold on. Here's the thing. We're claiming that Alicent is all innocent in this. What if she's part of this shit too? She's Cersei's.
We haven't seen that from her.
I got a feeling she is. I got a feeling that little heifer is. I got a feeling that little heifer is up to something.
I don't know.
I got a
seemed
feeling.
a little bit.
Listen,
She
I got a
seemed too
feeling. I got a feeling the minute that crown gets put on her head, her true colors start to come out.
Maybe, but like the reason that,
I'm telling you.
saying this about the reason I'm saying this about Cole is because he met Daemon on that bridge on this past episode, and Daemon says, Cole, was it? I can't remember your name. And he says, well, you remember that I beat your ass at that festival, at that tournament. Like he's
Daemon asked for that one. Damon asked for that one. Come on, you want to try to play my man like, oh yeah, who are you again? Yeah, nigga that whipped your ass. You know who the fuck I am. Stop playing with me, bro.
Damon, he even had
he made it. Damon deserved that one. Nah, bro, nah.
Damon even like
go to the street, say if you whip somebody ass and they try to get smart, you remind them that you whipped their ass.
Damon even like moved his mouth and jaw like, like he was like,
like, turn around, I'm hit you in the head with. As soon as you turn around, I'm hit you in the head with a brick. Wait, come on, Damon deserved that one. Who are you again? Oh, where? How about if you lay on your back? You know who the hell it is. Like, come on, you gotta do that on that one. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. He's a little too cocky. I don't like him. But all Alicent has done is like been shocked at all the events. She's that, like that like shocked Pikachu face meme. That's her. Both episodes, just shocked at what Rhaenyra says about history and all that stuff. Shocked at the events of the tournament.
That's another reason why. That's another reason why I think there's something else behind that. Remember how when Rhaenyra actually did repeat that history back to her, she was like, "Oh, you're not as dumb as I thought." That's why I also think that she's into this, man. She's into this. She might have been shocked that her father wanted her to go that night. He probably been told her, and she was just, all right. And tonight he was like, "Yeah, tonight you got to put it in." Oh, you was for real? You was for real about that?
Tonight you gotta put it in.
Like you like, oh, you was for real about that? Like, so I think that's what her shock was, and she has to play shock in front of everybody, in front of the. She has to play shock.
I mean, she is a Hightower.
Like, there's no way. Hold on, there's no way she didn't know that old man was catching feelings for her the same way she was catching feelings for that old man. There's no way.
And think about what was the icing on the cake when she got that fucking dragon fixed for him. That was the icing on the cake right there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he smashed it.
We'll see at the end of this season.
The end of this season,
because one of these two is going to turn within like the next 3 episodes. We'll see
One of
whenever
them
that
is gonna
happens.
die.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are gonna die. I mean,
Listen, I'm gonna
I'm
tell you
sure.
this right now.
Look, I think
Yep.
I think old Cole's about to fuck something up real bad, and I think it's going to be on purpose.
Fix this
Stone
phone.
Funko Fix his train set.
What you call it? Mongo hates pretty boys, y'all. Mongo hates pretty
It's not
boys.
a pretty boy thing. It's just I think that's her following her daddy's footsteps and making maybe what she thinks is a good choice, and what they're telling us is a good choice, but maybe might not be a great one. I don't know. There's just something about him I don't like. I don't know what it is. We'll see. We will see when one of these motherfuckers turns who's right. It's pretty boys.
Word? Now we doing Johnny Organo.
What was that about?
I don't know.
What was that
haven't-
about?
That was what that right there. That was just a little sneak preview, because if you're joining us today, we would like for you to join us tomorrow when we get into our other stuff that we're talking about, which is actual wrestling, which is where the name Under the Ring comes from. Do we have anything else to cover about this episode besides the fact that I think the little heifer is in on it and Mongo hates pretty boys?
That next episode's gonna be intense. They tease. Did you see that
Yeah, I seen that teaser, and I don't. We
Something
can't
that
give it away. We can't give it away, but it's about to be serious. It's about to be serious.
It's about to get juicy. This is, man, I love it. I love that feeling. The like Game of Thrones is back in your system. But if they keep mentioning that, it comes up.
It comes up. We try to keep up to date with what's going on right now.
But it'll come up.
It'll come up. We do. We
Join
do have
us.
conversations.
We'll have
Join
fun.
us. Right. You'll get into it again.
I'll say this though: if they mention that fucking long winter one more time, I'm gonna be pissed. Because every time I hear that shit now, Aegon's dream of fire and ice.
But here's my thing.
It's terrible.
And then you're sitting there going like this, like when they mention it, you thinking, "Oh shit, it's gonna come up next week." Then you got to remember, oh, this is 172 years before this shit happens. Okay, we got some time before the long winter really fucking shows up. All right, yeah, we got a little bit of time. Let me just get Game of Thrones out of my mind. Get it out of my mind.
But now we're gonna see people get eaten by crabs, which is equally as interesting. I think. I don't know. Pretty weird shit.
Here's one thing I will say. So far, House of the Dragon, you have done very well with not making the show dragony.
Yeah.
Not too many dragons.
Yeah,
not too
dragons when needed.
Right. Not too drag. And you also have done a good job so far of not having horrible CGI dragons either. So if you can keep it this way, like the way that they're introduced, the way that they're bringing the dragons and showing us when they're needed is just right. Just right. We get just enough to where every episode we get to see at least 1 or 2 dragons, which is cool. But it's not every 5 minutes. So I'm okay with that so far.
Well, with that being said, y'all can follow us at twitch.tv/Under the Ring Pod and Facebook.com/Under the Ring Pod. You also follow us at our socials. We got first off, of course, the King, me, Greg Bush SK. Follow Kenny over there at Robert Ribs 44. And of course, Mike Jones, Mr. Fresh Beard. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. Talk all things wrestling. News is getting wild over regarding tampering and other contract stuff we saw today. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Until then, we'll see y'all next week for the 3rd installment of House of the Dragon and the House of the Podcast.
Peace.